Hello, everybody. I'm Sharon Scott Wilson, Content Director for Resort Trades Media Group, where we cover all things related to people and developments in the vacation ownership and timeshare industry. And today we're thrilled to have a returning guest, Gaetan Babin. And pardon, I mess up your name all the time, Gaetan, but Gaetan is president of the Canadian Resort and Travel Association, CRTA. And Gaetan, thank you so much for your time.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, Sharon.
Oh, thank you. Well, before we get started, I want to remind our viewers to please like, comment, and share this video. It helps us to continue to bring content that you might find interesting and relevant to your business. So that said, last time we spoke, Gaetan, we learned so much about CRTA and your goals. And today we're going to dive even deeper. So to start with, how does the Canadian Resort and Travel Association compare to ARTA?
Well, it's a good opening question. ARTA obviously is the largest association in the vacation model, and we're so very fortunate to have a phenomenal relationship with them, as they have helped us establish a platform that's more suitable for our country than it is in the States. The major difference, I would say, is ARTA focuses on the American traveler and the American resort development primarily. And as at the Canadian Association, as we do the same, we also realize that a large percentage of our travelers travel down to the States and consider vacation ownership in U.S. as well as Mexico and other countries. So our focus has been more of an international basis, and our relationship with ARTA and Mexico and the ACATOUR Association has flourished a lot, because they have want to expand their Canadian market penetration, and we want to be able to endorse properties and resorts and clubs that provide good value and that follow our code of ethics, and give confidence to our consumers that these are good places to consider their offering.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, that's great. And now, with market dynamics evolving so quickly, explain how CRTA is of more value than ever to your constituents.
Well, there's many layers to this onion, and the same, I would say, would apply with the other associations, as ARTA, as we just mentioned, is there needs to be a body that unites everybody. There's need to be a body where there's a lot of B2B, new product development, from the sales marketing to the product design, where everybody gets a chance to look at what everybody else is doing, what works, what doesn't work, and being able to establish it with what we all have in common is, if it's not good for the industry, then it doesn't belong in the industry. If It's not good for the end consumer, it also doesn't belong in the industry. So with that in mind, there's a lot of product that we've seen in past decades that were profitable for the industry, but not necessarily good for the consumer, and vice versa. So unless it's a win-win situation, we don't endorse it, we don't promote it. And so a lot of the independents that are out there right now are saying, well, we have good value, but if they don't want to abide by these basic rules, they won't be endorsed by the association. So it becomes a checklist for our consumers to say, are these businesses that we can do businesses with? So obviously there's a lot more in legislation that we deal with all the time, because government changed laws, and we need to continue educate our powers to be on the benefits of the timeshare industry, because sadly it's usually the bad news that makes the news, and sometimes they don't see the benefit and the philanthropy and the joy that our industry brings to thousands and hundreds of thousands of families out there.
Oh, so correct. Now, you kind of answered my next question, which was looking to the future, long-term objectives. how do you envision CRTA's role in shaping the industry direction?
Well, it's become clear again in the last decade within the industry, as you well know, that there's been a lot of mergers. Large brands such as Marriott, Hilton, have acquired properties and clubs, and they're becoming very, very huge, and they're self-regulated, and they're doing a great job. So they see us associations as to work on, advocate on their behalf for legislative issues and laws and whatnot, and to prevent exit companies that are not ethical to operate. So that's what they depend on us to do while they do their growth and their product design and increase their markets. Where we really become of value, especially in Canada, is for the small independents that don't have that power, that brand power, because they need support. They need to know what is their best options, and they need to know that they are also well protected, secure, because as the Marriott and the Wyndham and all these brands grow, these small independents are sometimes, and some of them are sold out completely. Legacy resorts in Canada alone, there's a little over 40 properties, which is still now in a six-figure membership, that are saying, well, we're not part of this, we're not part of that, so how does that affect our ownership? So we work really hard to keep enforcing services and to be able to help them out along the way so that they can profit from their investment.
Oh, that's very good. So regarding growth, I know CRTA's been experiencing significant growth. And what initiatives or partnerships are driving this momentum, and how do you plan to sustain it?
Well, the first thing we did when took over the ARTA, the Canadian Association, is I rebranded it from a Canadian Association to an International Canadian Travel Association. Second thing we did is we brought in an incredible, great board of directors. We have probably some of the best people in the industry from both affiliation, RCI, NII, and some big brand resorts at the same time, and some service providers. So without giving names, they're all on our website. Please feel free to go on our website and see who these directors are. But they bring a lot of quality. So when we're all together, there's a mastermind that develops out of this that's pretty strong. And long-term vision, we went from basically very little endorsement, because in Canada there's not a lot of developments. But as soon as we went international, we grew at a very large rate. And now the snowball effect is starting to take effect, and people realize that being endorsed and protected by an association like us gives a lot of credibility to the product, especially to a Canadian consumer, let's say, that does go to either Mexico or States or Caribbean, and say, if you are endorsed and you follow the Canadian Association's rules of ethics and you're protected, and there's our contact and they can contact us, the hesitation to consider the product is reduced quite a bit. And there's a large development in Cancun right now that I won't name, but that's a member, and they said the difference has been incredible. He says just in the marketing end, where people were hesitating, now all of a sudden they're saying, well, if this is endorsed by the Canadian Association, we're ready to take a look, and it made a huge difference in their numbers. Now, saying that, the resort does have to follow our code of ethics, which is the highest standard in the industry. So transparency's got to be there, and if there's any issue that comes across, the communication has got to be ongoing. And so far, we're banging 10 out of 10. It's working really well for us.
Wow. Well, that's great. Now, another thing you mentioned, that seeing an article about CRTA in resort trades creates significant impact for your organization. Could you elaborate on that and how this kind of media exposure helps elevate your mission?
Yeah, what's resort trade? I'm just kidding. Everybody knows resort trades. Sharon, I surprised at that question, but I'll tell you what, I've been a fan of what you've done forever, because when I first entered the industry, seems like 100 years ago, but it's 30 years now. Communication has always been key. I wanted to say what's going on and who's giving accurate, true news and development. And I quickly went to your side of the scale, and I realized there's some great articles in there. I've learned a lot from it. It's given me directions in a lot of ways. And for us, again, that kind of exposure, which is positive reinforcement of what we're trying to do, we want to be part of the good people in the industry. We want to be able to give, everything that we can do to protect and enhance and grow the industry, and at the same time protect the consumer. So I don't think there's any greater mission. But when you get an exposure in publication like yours, which the credibility and the standards already be established worldwide, like I don't know anybody in the industry doesn't know Sharon. I just don't know. So, and they all love Sharon because of, first of all, your personality, no question. You've got a bubbling personality, but because of what you've done and your contribution, which is great. So there's a lot of press out there that maybe never will reach that level of trust and credibility. But you've been flawless for all these years, and I thank you for what you've done for the industry to promote the good in the business. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's just music to my ears. Now, as a leader in the field, what is your personal vision for the timeshare and vacation ownership industry in Canada and beyond?
Well, that's a big question, because people ask me all the time, are you ever going to retire from this? And I knew I wanted to be in this role when I entered the business 30 years ago, because I knew this is where I could make the biggest impact. First, get the education and learn, and from resort directors to operating sales centers, I basically developed my skills and knew that at the end of the day, this is where I was going to end up. And so now I ain't quitting. I just love where I'm at for a couple of reasons. The people that surround me, some of the partners that I've done with, such as we talked about ARDA, the support that we've had for them, the affiliations, GNX, Paul and Sharon Manimo have been great help. The board of directors that we've had, the conferences that we put together, which are becoming a must-go-to event. The last one we just had in Ottawa was phenomenal. And our next one in Montreal, which I hope to invite everybody to come down in this coming summer, will be on our site. Down to it, but we want to bring our goal for your question is bring more awareness in the industry, so positive in the industry. So the same as Arda, promoted their I love my timeshare, and the new logo of timesharing versus timeshare. There's so much good in our industry, so much, and sadly enough, as in politics, as in everything else in the world, the bad news makes the news, and the 5% that are disillusioned sometimes get a higher profile than the 95% that are so happy with their ownership, because the stories are endless. So we want to keep promoting. We want to, obviously, long-term goal is we'd love everybody to be able to depend on the affiliation associations like us and ARDA and the one in Mexico to know the direction to go, and to have a place to get the information, and to say, you know what, is this something that is of good value for us and as a whole. So we try to unite the best in the industry, and so far our mission is working. I am so humble and grateful for the support I've been getting for this, but we will continue on our path, and a quitter never wins and a winner never quits. So
I love it. What is your website again?
Our website is Canadian RTA, which is Canadian Resort Travel Association. So CanadianRTA.org.
.org.
Yes,
we'll put it in our description too, but I thought we should kind of cover that, and I apologize for not bringing that up earlier in my introduction to you. But I so appreciate your time here, Gaetan. And I look forward to seeing you in March at the Orlando ARDA conference. I guess it's no longer a convention. And to our viewers, thank you for watching. I hope that you will stay. If you want to stay connected to the industry, please go to our website, resorttrades.com/e-magazine, and subscribe to our weekly e-newsletter. And also if you could like, comment, and share this video, that helps support this channel as well. And thank you again, Gaetan.
You're most welcome. And Happy New Year. Successful and healthy for all your viewers for 2025.
Yes, same to you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.